Whether you're moving to the Rochester area with kids or the idea to have kids and grow a family, or you're just looking to protect your investment in real estate, school districts are going to be one of the most important things that I talk to buyers about. We find that so many of our clients are, asking us about the best school districts in the area. And in this video, I'm going to do exactly what I do for them. When somebody is asking me about school districts, I pull up niche.com, and in niche.com they give you all sorts of grades and ratings for the schools. It'll tell you the best schools in the area, and so in this video, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I don't shy away from the conversations that a lot of people are shying away from. In my industry, we got to be careful about what we say, but I am allowed to refer to the resources such as websites and go based on what the website is telling me. So that's what I'm going to do, and that's the best way I've found that clients and people watching these videos appreciate. So that being said, if you guys get anything from this channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. That being said, as much as I love posting these videos on all things Rochester and Finger Lakes living, I'd love even more to help you with those real estate needs. So that information on the bottom of your screen, I'm the guy that answers those texts, emails, and phone calls. Definitely don't hesitate to reach out. I would love to help out. That being said, let's hop right into the video. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to share my screen with you guys. And I am on niche.com here. So niche.com in best 2024 best school districts, right? Number 111th best school district in America, which is that's a great feat to have right there, is Brighton Central School District. So Brighton, if we click in here, Brighton is right on the outskirts of the city of Rochester, very close. You're going to have a lot of kids in this school district. You're going to have 3,461 students in grades K through 12. And the student teacher ratio is a 12-to-1. So 12 students for every teacher, which is extremely low. That's very low. And that's great because that means one-on-one time with the teacher if your kid needs it. That means getting extra support. That means maybe catering the curriculum to each individual needs of the student. So these things are important if you're a public school, if you have kids in the school, right? So according to the state test scores, 64% of students are at least proficient in math and 63% are in reading. So you can see here the report card of Brighton Central School Districts. I don't need to read you all of these. You guys can read, I'd imagine. But these are important, A+ in academics and teachers and college prep and administration. These things are super important when you talk about the future of your children or the future of our society, right? Because our children are 100% of our future. So you want to make sure that they're going to good schools, they're getting a good education, and doing that whole thing. So scrolling down here, look at this, number 15 in best school districts in New York, and then number 18 in districts with the best teachers in New York, and then number 20 best places to teach in New York. So a lot of teachers love teaching at Brighton just because of diversity, the programs they offer, the curriculum, just how great the school district is. You can see here, this is the map of Brighton School District. So everybody that kind of falls in here, they go to Brighton. So elementary school, you got the French Road Elementary and Council Rock Primary. You can see here, average graduation rate 95%, average SAT is 1310, average ACT is a 30, and then these are the popular colleges that graduates of Brighton Central School District are going to. So University of Buffalo, University of Rochester, and RIT, Rochester Institute of Technology. B+ in diversity. I've been getting a lot of questions about diversity. A lot of people moving from some of the southern states or just other areas, whether you're Hispanic, African American, or, whatever. Diversity is seeming like it's very important to a lot of people moving here. And so what I'll say about Brighton is that I think Brighton is going to be the most diverse school in the Rochester suburb area, right? Outside of the city districts. I think diversity in Brighton is going to be the best. So again, 3,461 students, 12-to-1 teacher ratio, average salary for a teacher. So if you're a teacher moving to the area, average salary is $81,812. 11% of teachers in their first or second year. And so you guys can see all of these. Overall niche grade is an A+. Brighton has a B- cost of living, A- in housing, A+ good for families. So what I'll say about the housing in Brighton, because this is important, is Brighton is very competitive, and it's very competitive because of the school district that you're seeing right here. So a lot of people are trying to get into the Brighton school district just because it's been so great. And so, you know, that's just creating a massive surge of people trying to buy in the Brighton school district. So, you know, while it's challenging, if you can get a house in there, your investment is more than likely protected because you're in a great school district, and you can probably gain some instant equity by buying in the Brighton school district, which is very important. You got the reviews here. You know, I always say, like if we click on these terrible reviews, you know, I don't know how much merit goes into these two. I think you got to listen to them, but like, it seems like it might just be a pissed off parent or something, or a pissed off kid, it looks like. So, you know, I don't put a whole lot of merit into these. I would trust these ones a little bit more, not just because they're better, but because, you know, there's a larger population of people voting, you know, either average, very good, or excellent. So seems that that's a little bit more the general consensus there. So we'll go back to the full profile, go all the way down. So that's it on Brighton schools. So number one on the list is going to be Brighton. Very great school district, and your investment's definitely protected if you're in Brighton school district. So going back out, let's see here. Oops. Number two is going to be Pittsford. Pittsford Central School District is also an amazing school. A+ overall niche grade. You can see all the report card here. So what's a little bit different from Pittsford to Brighton is that Pittsford has better athletics. They're A+ in sports, where if I remember correctly, Brighton was a B or a B+. And the other difference is the administration is a B+ in Pittsford, and Brighton was an A+. So small differences there. And then you can see the change in diversity as well. You got a C+ in Pittsford. Yeah, you know, just not as great on that note. So Pittsford has 5,548 students in K through 12. And that's a 12-to-1 ratio. So according to the state test, 78% of students are at least proficient in math, and 74% are proficient in reading. So I mentioned the athletics. Pittsford is great for athletics, number 11 in New York State, number 22 best school districts in New York, and best teachers, number 84. So you can see the outline here of the district, kind of in between Henrietta and Fairport. Pittsford is a great area as far as real estate's concerned. Very competitive, very high prices, very high resale prices, right? And a lot of Pittsford is very affluent. So there's a lot of money kind of going around in Pittsford, and the home prices are reflecting that. But they're very nice homes. It's a very nice, charming town. I always say that Pittsford is like, it's like the whole town, you feel almost like you're in a park, right? Like with trees and the greenery and like woods, kind of rolling hills in a sense. Like it's really cool. Pittsford's one of my favorite towns, and you know, the school district reflects that. So again, there's that 74% and 78% in reading and math respectively. Diversity C+. Let's see. So the students with the free or reduced lunch you see is a much lower percentage. I did mention that Pittsford's a bit more affluent, so I think that is probably why it reflects that way. But let's see. As a teacher, you can get paid more in Pittsford. 85,000 is the average salary, and then 2.4% in their first and second year. So that's actually a small percentage, obviously, of new teachers. So that means they have a considerable amount of experienced teachers in that school. So yeah, so I mean, you see one less terrible review, a couple more poor reviews, but you know, again, the reviews on a school district are, I don't really love it. But you can see here the median home value is about 100,000 more than the median home value in Brighton. So if you're looking for bang for your buck, Brighton might be the town for you, although it's going to be more competitive just because it's a bigger town. There's more people. But like I said, Pittsford is going to be more affluent. You're going to have more transitional homes. You know, you're going to have a lot more like luxury in Pittsford. Again, it's a really nice town, and it's so close to Brighton that the two are, you know, they're always competing for, you know, best places to live, basically. So yeah, so that's Pittsford. Let's go back out. We'll go to Penfield. We'll do the top 5 here. So number 415 best school in America is Penfield Central School District. So Penfield is awesome. I love Penfield as well. Bunch of trails, hiking trails, running trails in Penfield. It's, you know, a really cool town. Overall niche grade is an A in academics, A+ teachers. Their sports are going to be great as well, similar to Pittsford. I remember growing up and playing Penfield. They were always very competitive with us. I went to Canandaigua Academy, so they have roughly 4,679 students in the K through 12, and the ratio is also 12-1. So we're seeing this trend here in the top schools, that 12-1 student teacher ratio. It's very important, like I mentioned in the beginning, for students getting their one-on-one time with teachers, or that extra care that they might need to understand the topics that are discussed in class and whatnot. So 72% of students at least proficient in math, 68 in reading. Number 14 in New York for athletes. Number 48 for best school district in New York. And then 51 for best teachers in New York. So you can see this weird kind of outline here for Penfield. You can see these again. Your popular colleges are going to be Buffalo, RIT, and Binghamton. All great schools. B- in diversity. You can see this jump here. Free and reduced lunch is 18%. That's a big jump from Pittsford, which was, if I remember correctly, was like 2.3% or something like that. So that's a pretty significant jump there to 18%. But 12-1 student ratio, $74,000 average salary for the teachers, and then 6.7% of them are first or second year teachers. So maybe that average got reduced simply because there's more new teachers in there. So obviously, the less you've worked at a place, the less you're probably going to get paid. So again, A- overall. Niche grade. The Browncroft area is an amazing area here for Penfield, but your housing is a B. Median home value 191,000. I think that's probably higher now if you were to update that. Penfield, again, just like Pittsford and Brighton, are very, very competitive. A lot of people want to be in it because of the school districts. The school districts are great. So you know, these areas are super, super, super competitive. Now, going back out, we're going to go to the number 4 on the list, which is West Irondequoit. And I'm not going to lie, this has actually surprised me that Irondequoit is really doing well over the years. So you got A overall niche grade. You can see kind of the individual gradings here. They are really good at sports. Number 57 for best in New York for athletes, 103 for best districts in New York, and then 158 for most diverse in New York. So you can see here, this is West Irondequoit. This is going to be East Irondequoit over here. So West Irondequoit, you know, looks like it's the better side of Irondequoit if you were to, you know, grade the two, I guess, just because just telling from that niche.com doesn't have East Irondequoit on here, but West Irondequoit is. So just going based off the website. Again, that 58% proficient in reading and 58% proficient in math. RIT, University at Buffalo, and then St. John Fisher. So that's the first St. John Fisher that we've seen. B plus diversity. You see a big jump here to 25% on free or reduced lunch. 70,000. So it seems like, you know, as we get lower on the list, the average salary for teachers is going down a little bit. So, but then you're also seeing a larger percentage of first year or second year teachers. So yeah, I feel like there's a correlation in that, right? The average gets brought down by newer teachers just because they're getting paid slightly less. So, so yeah, overall niche grade A, and then B plus for housing. So Irondequoit, Irondequoit is very, it's the most competitive. Irondequoit's been bouncing between number 1 and number 2 for the most competitive housing market in the United States. Not just in Rochester, not just in New York, but in the United States. So most people, well, not most people, but a lot of people are looking in Irondequoit to buy a house. And really that comes with the schools being so great. And then also, you know, just the cost of living. The home prices are still affordable. They're still lower. And there's a lot of really unique charm in Irondequoit too. So Irondequoit has like the old, not necessarily Victorians, but like the old style type homes, where you have the finished off attic space that's like huge. It's an additional like, you know, 600 or 700 square feet type thing. So you have a lot of different options. Plus it's a great community feel. A lot of Irondequoit is going to be a little bit closer knit, but neighbors tend to know each other. Everybody, you know, everyone loves each other type thing, and they look out for each other. So, you know, it's good for families. It's good for real estate, and your investment is certainly protected there as far as the school districts go. You're going to be in a good spot if you're in Irondequoit. So then going to number 5, and this one, I said Irondequoit surprised me. Henrietta actually is really surprising me now. That it is the number 5 best school district in the Rochester area. That is surprising, just because when I was coming up through school, it was not like that. It wasn't, you know, nobody saw Henrietta as like, you know, a desirable school necessarily. Not that it was undesirable, but it just wasn't in the top, right, for a lot of people. And so seeing now that it's worked its way up to the top 5 especially is outstanding. You know, really, really cool to see this. And it's a big school. So you got 5,620 students in the K through 12. Student to teacher ratio is at 12-1. And then 59% of students are proficient in math, 52 in reading. You got the A- academics, A- teachers, A for clubs and activities. Sports are going to be really good. Diversity is, I think this is the best diversity that we've seen. So I said Brighton, I thought might be the most diverse. It's actually, now we can see, is Henrietta. Number 40 for best or most diverse school districts in New York. Number 67, best for athletes, and 110 for best districts in New York. You can see the map of where these students live. 92% graduation rate. SAT is a 1230 on average, and then a 28 average ACT. RIT, SUNY at Buffalo, or University at Buffalo, and then SUNY MCC, so community college. Diversities in A. You can see free or reduced lunch is going to be almost, it's pretty high, almost half the school here. But your teachers get paid slightly more than the last one at $71,000. There is a 4.9% teachers in first and second year, so that's a little bit lower of a percentage. You're going to have more experienced teachers in this school district. Now, Henrietta, I think what's contributing to the increase in the ratings for Henrietta is just cost of living in Henrietta is significantly less, and it's super competitive for buyers because taxes are cheaper. So there's so much industry in Henrietta that taxes are a lot cheaper in Henrietta, and it's just it's more affordable. Simply put, it's more affordable. So you see your median rent's going to be $11.93. Median household income is $80,800. And then $191,000 median home value. I think that is going to be increasing here soon because, it's hard to find houses going for this anymore that are like solid, decent houses. But I really like Henrietta. There's so much going on in Henrietta, and it's a really, really cool area. Because it is cheap to live there. The schools are great. The athletics are great. And it's really been on the come up for a long time now. They've really kind of revitalized the districts and, just everything the whole town surrounding. So it's been really kind of cool to see that. So those are the top 5 school districts in the area. Maybe I'll go 5 through 10 on the next video, because the thing about school districts in New York State. Now, I'm not a public school junkie. My wife and I, we're not sending our kids to public school. We have personal reasons, but what I'll say about New York schools is that I've talked to a lot of people calling in from this channel who are talking about school districts in places that they're coming from. And what I've learned is that if you imagine a scale, right, of schools, rating 1 through 10 type thing, 1 being the best, 10 being the worst, our lower ratings are still our other states' higher ratings, if that makes sense. So our, call it a 7, rating 7 school is going to be like a 3 in most other states, because our school districts are so good and they care for the students so much. If there's one thing I love about this area is just the school districts. The kids are well taken care of. It's awesome. In the sports and the extracurriculars and stuff are, above I think what you see in a lot of other states. The other thing is we have swimming programs here. So I want to say all of the schools in the area have a swimming pool in the school for gym class. And so you have to go through a swim curriculum, which I learned in the Marine Corps is not a normal thing throughout the United States. It's not required in the United States, but in New York State it is, which is really cool because you got kids learning how to swim from a young age. It's pretty cool, whereas some people don't get that opportunity. So, so New York State has really great schools, even though I disagree with a lot of the public school curriculum and the system. For people moving here, I'd say definitely don't hesitate to buy in any of these districts, just because they're amazing and your investment's going to be protected even if you don't have kids, or if you have maybe future plans of growing your family or whatever, and maybe you want to buy a second house before they go to school. you can't buy in the wrong place as far as school districts go. It's just everywhere that you buy is going to have a great school district, and it's going to be super desirable. So you can be sure that you're putting your money in the right places. So that being said, guys, hope you guys got something from this. If there's any other school districts you guys want me to review, feel free to shoot it in the comments or send me a message or whatever, an email. So that information on the screen, I'm the one that answers those text, emails, and phone calls. Guys, don't forget to subscribe, help this channel grow and reach more people just like you who are moving to the Finger Lakes and Rochester region. Until the next video, guys, bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye.